Hello, and welcome to Make a Difference, the show about everyday volunteers making a difference right here in Montgomery County. I'm your host, Sandy Smith. Our guest today is Shannon Babe-Thomas, Executive Director of Community Bridges Incorporated. Welcome to Make a Difference, Shannon.
Thank you so much for having me today.
Let's begin by you telling us about Community Bridges.
Great. So Community Bridges began in 1997. Our founder, Naomi Nim, and other education leaders noticed that Silver Spring was changing. Immigrants were moving to Silver Spring, and they felt that there needed to be an organization that could connect kids to their school, to their home, and to their community, and most specifically, girls. So at the time, we started with middle school girls. Within the first year, we realized we actually need to be with girls before they're in middle school, help with that change between fifth grade and sixth grade. And then about 10 years ago, we realized we actually need to stay with girls until they graduate from high school. So flash forward 25 years, we've been an organization, and today we serve girls in grades 3 through 12 and then beyond.
Wow, that's fabulous. And you're right. Middle school years are so important, but you're right. If you start even sooner, that even helps. And going through high school is perfect because then you do help prepare girls to go to college, correct?
Absolutely. That is one of our programs. Yes.
Well, tell us about some of your other programs.
Yes, I'm going to start with what I call our umbrella program. All girls come to Community Bridges through what we call our CB Girls program. And that's where we're going directly into the schools and working with girls in the after school setting. And we're doing social emotional learning. We're focusing on things from scholastic ambition to civic engagement to cultural identity. And we're creating a safe space. That's the most important thing. We're creating a safe space for girls to have dialogue that they're not necessarily having during the school day and or at home. And we
Right.
can process that with the girls and think about their future. And that's most importantly, we're using education as a vehicle to end the cycle of poverty for a girl and her family. So why that? We layer on additional programs to just the CB Girls program. You mentioned our college program. We have our College Access and Success program. That's open to all of our girls in our program. Once they get to 11th grade, we're working really intensely on that college process, visiting colleges, helping with the college application, helping with financial aid and scholarships, and ensuring that not only are girls getting into college, but they're getting to the college of their choice, but most importantly, that they have the finances to attend college. And I'm proud to say, since that program began in 2015, 100% of our girls have graduated from high school, and
Wow.
100% have gone on to college.
Wow. About how many girls are you serving every year?
This year,
Servicing.
this year we're serving over 450 girls.
Wow, and 100%. That's incredible. There are no schools that can can boast those types of numbers. Are
Yes.
you in like all the schools? Are there certain schools? Are you just down county? What where are you?
For 24 years, we were just down county, so really Silver
Mhm.
Spring, Tacoma Park, and Wheaton. But this year, we started a program at Gaithersburg High School. So really excited that our footprint is getting
Great.
wider in Montgomery County, and we're really trying to look at the schools and go where the need is the greatest and where there's not other programs for just girls, and we can have a big impact.
Absolutely. Now there are those out there that would say, why focus on girls? Why only girls? What do you say to that?
Well, I say that girls learn differently in an environment where it's just girls together. And like I
Very
said, we're creating
true.
that safe space. So sometimes when we're talking about healthy relationships and healthy engagement in their community, if there's boys in the mix, sometimes girls don't feel comfortable having those
Mhm.
conversations. So we
Right.
want to create a safe space. And most importantly, when we're looking at leaders and who our leaders are today, when you're looking at CEOs, you're looking at executives, even nonprofit leaders, we want more women in those seats. And to do that, you have to create that safe space for just women who can see themselves as leaders tomorrow.
Absolutely. And I also think that uh, you have different issues. You know, girls have certain issues, boys have certain issues, and sometimes you need to focus and you need to let's just deal with this right now. Let's see how this goes and work with it that way. So is your organization mostly volunteer based?
So our programs, our after school program that I mentioned is completely staff run. But we do have a lot of volunteers. We could not reach the 450 girls we reached without volunteers. So there's a few ways people can get involved in the community. And I
Okay.
start with the first is becoming a CB mentor. So that's another program that I didn't mention where we pair women in the community with one of our girls for at least a year-long relationship. Although we find many of our mentors, once they're paired, will stay with their girls for the foreseeable future. They become
Wow.
family to one another.
Right.
So we are currently looking for mentors for our next school year. It's a really great way for women to get involved in the community. It's approximately 4 to 8 hours per month, but it varies based on your interests and your mentee's needs. But it's a
Mhm.
really great way to get involved. If somebody does not have like that much time to give, we have multiple one-day volunteer opportunities. One is around the holidays. We do like holiday giving drives, food drives, where we need volunteers to help us to deliver things to our families. It's a great way if you have just a couple hours, maybe one time a year to volunteer, you can make a big impact in the community. We're also looking for subject matter experts. So, like I said, when I'm talking about healthy relationships, my staff can have those conversations, but it's always great to have somebody come in that's a professional and can
Right.
really share their expertise and knowledge with our girls. So, those are great opportunities, again, just one time a month to come in and have a conversation and share that knowledge with girls. And that leads me into we have a career summit every single year, finding it really important to open the eyes of our girls to the various careers that are out there that they're not thinking about. You ask
Mhm.
a lot of youth today, what careers? Doctor, lawyer, engineer, teacher, the things that they hear or they see every day. We want to introduce them to like unique careers that are right here in Montgomery County that they don't know about. So
Mhm.
having folks to come in and talk about not only their job, but how they got there, where they went to school, and so that our girls can see I can do that same path, and that's something I want to consider. So it's a great one day opportunity for folks to come and share their career with our girls.
Absolutely. You mentioned mentorship.
Mhm.
So, if you are interested in becoming a mentor, are there certain qualifications that you look for, certain backgrounds? Uh, what types of people? Also, is there training involved?
Absolutely. So first, there's an application process all of our mentors have to go through, and we
Okay.
actually interview our mentors twice with two different staff members, really trying to gauge like their interests, why they're wanting to be a mentor, and are they going to be a good fit for the organization, but most
Right.
importantly, our girls. Through
Hmm.
that, we're getting to know them because when we make a match, we want the match to be successful, not only personality, background, and interests, but on both parties for the mentor and the mentee. Before they're ever matched, they go through about 15 hours of training. It's all since the pandemic, it's all Zoom virtual training because we found that that's more accessible and our mentors can meet us where we're at. But we're talking about positive youth development, engaging with their families, cultural identity, so that no matter who our mentors are, they can understand who our girls are, and most importantly, be able to serve as the best mentor possible. We are looking for all sorts of women to come and volunteer from, but most importantly, if they're diverse and like represent the community that we serve, they're going to be the most successful mentees for our girls.
Yes, that usually works best because,
Mhm.
you can relate and it gives you some common ground. And you mentioned that, some of these girls continue on relationships with their mentors after school. Just, I'm sure if you have people that are in college, and especially if they're first gen kids going to college, there's so many questions, there's so much out there. So when you are involved in this mentorship program, how many hours do you usually dedicate after the training? How many hours do you dedicate usually on a typical week?
It's usually 4 to 8 hours, we say, per month, because there might be a week that it's end of the quarter and their mentees really trying to get assignments done and they don't have time to talk or meet that week. But then maybe the next week, because it's the beginning of the new quarter, they have more
Right.
time. They want to go meet, have coffee, go see the movies, go visit a museum. So it really varies. But we say for our mentors and mentees, when they're first matched, they come up with an agreement. When are we going to check in with one another? How are we going to check in? Is it going to be text
Mhm.
message, email, phone? What works for both parties? And they agree with one another, this is when we're going to check in, so it works for both the mentor and the mentee.
That's good. So then you have sort of guidelines so the
Mhm.
people aren't just kind of thrown out there if you're
Right.
not sure, if you've never done it before. That's great. Now you mentioned your career summit. Give me a little bit more information on that.
Yeah, our career summit is actually coming up on Saturday, April 15th at Montgomery College at the Tacoma Park campus. We've hosted it every year. This will be our 8th annual career summit. It's really great. It's called Glow, Girls Leading Our World. And we really are focusing on STEM careers because there's so many wonderful STEM careers here in Montgomery County that I think our girls don't necessarily know about and don't know that they can go into biomed and what does that mean. And
Right.
so a lot of our girls are like, I want to study medicine, but there's so many careers within the medical field. That doesn't mean you have to go to medical school. So we're trying to bring in women from all various careers to share with our girls exactly how they can get involved and how they can go on that career path. And it's even great when we had one of our speakers last year. She's now working for Microsoft, but she's worked for so many
Wow.
different companies and done so many different things along the way. And her degree is actually in psychology. So saying that your degree does not always dictate what your career is going to be in, and your journey and your path can be very windy, but you eventually, if you can get to the place you want to be, it's going to be very powerful.
That's so true. And STEM is so important. And I think we just focus, like you said, on the more so on maybe the known things, biologists or doctors or engineers. And there's so many little focuses and careers within STEM that people don't even know about. I mean, my daughter, she's a STEM student at college, and she's focused on sustainability. So I don't know what that is, but I know that there are a lot of things that I can no longer do in my house.
Right.
So, we're trying to save the planet here. So I think that's so super important, because if you haven't seen it, you don't know that you can be it. There's no way that you know about it. So I think that's so very important. So let me ask you this. How do people get in touch with you? Either to be a mentor or do one of your other various volunteer opportunities, or if they are a girl or a parent and they want their daughter to participate, how do we reach you?
Well, the first way is you can go to our website, which is communitybridges-md.org.
Okay.
There's a tab for getting involved. So that's going to show you volunteer opportunities, as well as if a parent wants to reach out to us. But you can always send an email to us at info, so INFO, at communitybridges-md, so MD for Maryland.org. And then that will go to the various staff members that can get back to them and say either A, how to become a mentor, how to come to our career summit, how to join our program. And we can even let you know what schools we're at and if we have a program for their daughter at one of our schools.
Oh, perfect. Perfect. Now, are there any specific qualifications? Do you have to be maybe in an underserved community, lower income, or first gen kid? Are there any stipulations surrounding it?
So everything you mentioned is definitely things we're looking for when we're going into school. We are targeting schools where there are more first generation students, or over 80% free or reduced lunch, because we want to go into schools where there's not a lot of other after school programs, or maybe their girls are not in another program. So we want to be the program for the girls. We work very closely with the counselors and the administrators at each of the schools to help to identify the girls that would be best for our program. And I would say if you look at our current girls right now, 84% of our families have an annual income of $42,000 or less.
Wow.
So we are really reaching the girls who we know here in Montgomery County, it's extremely hard to live on a, and many of them are families of 4 or more on $42,000. That's hard. So we're not only providing programs to the girls, we are working with the families to identify resources. So if our families don't know about renter's assistance, or they don't know how to apply for SNAP, or they don't know about Rainbow or Manna and other food sources in the community, we're connecting them to those resources, because ultimately that's helping their daughters to be better students, to be better community advocates when they know what resources are available in the community.
And that is so important, because, just to provide the information, the resources that are available, because a lot of times families don't know where to go, where to even start. So that's wonderful that you're doing everything, or at least leading them in the right direction.
Right. We try to say we're offering that holistic support, right? If we can offer, surround a girl with the resources and provide her not only academic support, but social emotional learning and connecting to their community, she's more likely going to be successful and go on to college. And we see that if a girl goes on and gets college, 92% of those girls are going to reinvest that back in their families.
Absolutely. I'm still stuck on the 100%. That is amazing. You're doing great work. Great work. We've been speaking with Shannon Babe-Thomas with Community Bridges. Thank you for joining us today, Shannon.
Thank you.
If you're interested in this or any other volunteer opportunities, please go to our website, montgomeryserves.org. I'm your host, Sandy Smith. This month is Women's History Month. Oprah Winfrey once said, "When you educate a girl, you begin to change the face of a nation." Thank you for joining us today, and let's be sure to make a difference.